I'm Robert Williams from MetalRules.com, and joining me tonight in Austin, Texas is Kreator frontman Mille Petrozza. How you doing today, Mille?
I'm doing okay.
So this current Teutonic Terror tour is such a great package for fans of German metal and metal in general. I know you've stated in the press that you were influenced early on in your career by Accept. What are some of your earliest memories of Accept, and what would you call your favorite album by them?
My earliest memory would be the Christmas concert that they played in their hometown, and I was about 13 years old or 14 or something. I went there, and they blew me away. It was when they did. It was before. It was when they did the Fast as a Shark song, which is on Breaker, right? Is that on Breaker or is it on
Restless and Wild?
Restless and Wild. That was for that album.
Uh-huh.
And that was, I mean, to me they were the first speed metal band, and before there was even speed metal. So yeah, Accept is a huge influence on Kreator, and I think on many bands you wouldn't know. I mean, a lot of people tend to really kind of like overlook them sometimes, but if you think about it, all the early thrash metal stuff was influenced by Accept.
So let's talk about some of the lyrical concepts behind your new album, Phantom Antichrist. I read some things in the press where you suggested that the album title came to you after reports of Osama bin Laden's body being laid to rest at sea, which contradicts the Muslim faith, who never buries bodies as such. Could you expand on the significance of that statement and the album title a bit?
See, the thing is, people tend to always think that Kreator is like a political band, but we're not. You know, it's, to me, we touch political subjects sometimes to see how fucked up this world is, to just show in our lyrics how fucked up this world is. And to me, this whole Osama bin Laden thing was an inspiration. I'm not saying that it is the truth. I'm not saying that the guy wasn't really buried in the ocean or whatever. I just thought it was strange. And so I don't know what happened, but I just thought that the whole thing about this huge antichrist, you know, this figure Osama bin Laden that threatened the world for almost 10 years, just died, you know, like this, and it didn't really make such a huge. It was just like one of those news that 2 days later it was gone, you know.
So Phantom Antichrist landed at #1 on the Billboard Heatseeker chart here in the U.S. and at #5 on the German charts, your highest chart entry to date over there. What would you attribute most to this sudden rise in popularity? Is it returning to nuclear blast or steady touring? Or?
I think it's a combination of both. I don't think that. I think we have very loyal fans that want the record the day it comes out or the week it comes out, and that helps for the chart entries. We had like our biggest chart entries all over Europe and all over the world with this record, and of course it also helped that we are with Nuclear Blast, people that really know how to get the music to the people, because that can't be our job as musicians. As much as a lot of bands tend to bitch about record companies, it's important. Their work is very important.
So it was recently announced that Kreator had recorded a new song called Wolfchild for inclusion on the Dark Symphony's Tribute to John Sinclair album. From what I understand, this was a German radio drama about a Scotland Yard detective who battles demonic and undead creatures. What can you tell us about your new song Wolfchild and the tribute album for which it was recorded?
And it was basically a song that we recorded during the session for Phantom Antichrist, but we felt that the song is too different from the rest of the album, and the flow and the whole way the album was structured, it wouldn't fit anywhere. We tried to put it on the album and it didn't work, and we knew that in advance, and we were like, are we going to record the song or not? And then we said, because we had demos and we recorded, we worked on the song very hard, and then we knew that we got this thing coming in from the John Sinclair. It's like a demon hunter, you know, he fights evil forces. It's a very famous fiction. It's almost like a pulp fiction thing that comes out I think every week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, only 120 pages.
Uh-huh.
And so it's been running forever. And when I was a kid, I grew up reading this stuff.
So one thing I know you're excited about is Kreator is set to return to Israel for the third time in your career, where you will be performing at the Barbie Club in Tel Aviv this coming January. How safe is it for a band like yourselves to go over there and do a show? What are your previous concerts been like in Israel?
Seriously, I never felt unsafe when I went to Israel.
Uh-huh.
I always felt very safe. As long as you're not going into the Gaza Strip, you're okay. It's a lot of. That's another thing that just shows you how great the propaganda machinery sometimes works, because people tend to think once you go into Israel, you know, there's people like terrorists and whatever everywhere.
Bombs going on.
But it's not the case. It's a very peaceful country. It's actually very cool. A lot of cool people there, and a huge metal scene. And every time we went to Israel, it was great. So.
It was announced earlier this year that Violent Evolution, the official Kreator biography by author Hilmar Bender, would finally be translated from German into an English version. How involved was the band in this biography, and what are your thoughts on it? Are you pleased with how it turned out?
I'm not involved.
Oh, okay.
It's the thing is, I don't think it makes sense to translate this into English, because it's not a real autobiography. It is an autobiography in German. It only has like 140 pages, and I think it doesn't do the band justice. I mean, we've been around since '85, and it's only 120 or 30 pages. It's a good book. I have to say that it's a great book. When in German it works.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to work in English, so I'm not involved. I'm out.
Would you ever write your own book?
That's what we're working on. I
Cool.
think when the band has their 30th anniversary or something, which will be in 2015, and we're working on something. We need to find some journalist who's really anal about the band's history. You know, somebody that I can work with, that can actually like enjoys putting together all the details about the band's history and about the legacy of the band. I mean, we've been around a long time. And I think if we find the time, I'd like to do it. But I sometimes feel that you cannot top like the Motley Crue autobiography anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, if we be very honest, there would be some 80s stories. We have that. We've experienced all that, and there would be some great like rock and roll stories also. But I don't know if the band's about that. You know what I mean? Motley Crue, they're about this whole like sex, drugs, and rock and roll thing. I think this band is about something else, and I don't know if that's like that reads well in the book. You know, we'll see. We have to find somebody that makes it like really interesting, that you want to read the book and that you enjoy reading the book. I'm pretty anal when it comes to literature. I don't want to read anything that I wouldn't read myself. You know what I mean?
Of course.
The band.
So after this current Teutonic Terror tour with Accept wraps up, what's next for Kreator?
Oh, we have a 3-week break in Germany, relaxing, recharging batteries, and then we go out with on the Phantom Antichrist European tour, where we play with great bands like Fueled by Fire, Nile, and Morbid Angel. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great tour.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Mille, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk metal with me today. Before we wrap this up, any last words for your fans?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to be in the US, and I'm looking forward to come back. We're already planning the second leg for this tour, and we might come back within a year or later. And thanks for your support.